Hi, Leo Drager here. I want to talk to you about the world of Windows forensics. If you think things were a little difficult before, wait till you get a load of this. This is an amazing subject. There is literally no shortage of detail here. Lots and lots and lots of tools. And I give you a personal challenge. I want you to see if you can do each one of these in a hands-on fashion, because there's no value in actually talking about this. It's can you do it? So let's take a closer look. The first thing we're going to distinguish between is volatile versus non-volatile information. So volatile information, this is the types of information that goes away when your computer turns on and off, as opposed to non-volatile information, which is things that are generally retained. Okay, so volatile, things like dates and times. What tools and commands could you use? How many tools and commands could you use to figure out the date and the time on a Windows system? How would you figure out who's logged on your system via the command line or through a GUI? How would you figure out what open files? Okay, how many programs do you think you could think of? How about networking information? Probably should be able to come up with 5 or 6 tools just on that alone. Or connections to other computers. Or how about looking at the processes on your computer system? Or how about process to port to protocol to file system hard drive mapping? Or to process ID mapping? How about network status? Probably 3 or 4 commands you should be able to think of off the top of your head on that. How about looking at the clipboard? Not just, right-click paste, but actually running, command line stuff to actually show you the contents of the clipboard. Or what service or driver information actually stays static, or what is dynamic, right? How do you map drives each time as the computer starts up, logs in, logs out, versus permanent, right? Or how to look at shares. All of this stuff is likely to change at an instant's notice, which is why we call it volatile information. In comparison, you have non-volatile information. This is the stuff that's a little bit more static and rigid, okay? So things like hidden files, alternative data streams, which is one of my favorite types of labs, mostly because nobody knows how to do it. Slack space, how do you dig into slack space, which is the leftover space in a partition? Swap files, how do you read the contents of the RAM in the swap files? How to profile an index.dat. Searched indexes, unallocated clusters on a hard drive and system, used partitions, hidden partitions, even looking in the event logs, and countless other ways that we can profile a system. So as you can see, for each one of these, there's probably 1 to 2 to 5 to 7 different types of tools that you should be fluent with, because there's literally no shortage of information. Remember, when you profile a system, you run tools against that system, and you basically take all the details and the outputs, and you combine all of that to write a report. The report builds the profile, and that's what you're interested in to basically look at the big picture, okay? Now that we've covered volatile and non-volatile information, we can go into other types of analysis like memory analysis, how to look at the contents of the Windows memory system, or registry analysis, which the registry in itself is huge. This is where knowing the common hives and the different setters, like which goes into HKey local machine versus current user and things like that, knowing those inside and out, absolutely priceless. Looking at cookie caches and search histories, a variety of tools to do message digest analysis like MD5Sum or TigerDeep or SHA or FCIV, right? Lots of tools to do integrity snapshots. So let's take a real close look at those. How to analyze files, how to reproduce the header of a file, how to look at metadata. Right. So as you can see, I've broken this section down into 2 sections because it is literally that verbose, but we have to not only look at volatile and non-volatile information, but we're also going to expand into the other areas like registries and search histories and things like that. So I promise you that the hands-on experience here in this section is absolutely priceless. So stick with me and let's look at this a little bit closer.